Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about plans, but not any plans. We're going to talk about vacation plans. So, what are you going to do next vacations? That's a good question, right? So, are you planning to do something? Here, we're going to check some structures and vocabulary that we can use in order to prepare or not to prepare, to talk about our future vacations. Okay. We're going to talk about actions, activities that we will do or we're going to do. And also, we can talk about suggestions, things that we need to take, things that we have to do, or things that we should do in our next vacations. Okay. So basically, for this topic, it is important to review the use of going to and will. Remember that these two structures are used to talk about future. Okay. Now, what is the difference between using going to and remember that going to is always used with the verb to be? Remember, is, are, or am. Okay. I am going to. She is going to. We are going to. Though in will, the only thing that we need is the auxiliary, the subject, the auxiliary, and the verb in the base form. Remember that the same auxiliary is used for all subjects. I will, you will, she will, we will. Okay. Now, when we use going to, it is important to recognize that the plans have been decided. You have talked about that. You have planned that that vacation, for example. So it's a decision that you already made, and you have some preparations already done. For example, if you're going to travel to the beach, you already booked your hotel room. You'll have everything that you're going to need to take to the beach, like food, like clothes, like why not first aid supplies and things like that. Examples. Well, the basic question. What are you going to do? What are you going to do in December? What are you going to travel or what are you going to go in December? Ah, then you can say, I'm going to relax. Remember that we use the base form of the verb after going to. I'm going to relax at the beach. We're going to go surfing every day. I'm going to I'm not going to do anything special. In this case, we're using the negative form. I'm not. Okay? She is not, we are not. Remember, depending on the subject, right? So basically, going to is used to talk about plans that you already have decided. Okay? Now, with will, you're going to talk about plans, obviously, but possible plans. Okay? That is the difference, right? You haven't made a decision yet completely. So you're thinking about that. I think, I probably, I guess. So that's why these phrases are really important to go with will. I guess I'll just stay home. Maybe I will watch or I'll watch some videos. I think I'll go camping. I probably won't go anywhere. So we use the negative form of will, won't. Remember? So notice that in the second case, we're using some expressions like guess, I think, I probably, maybe. Okay? That goes with will because you are not sure about the situation. You're not completely sure if you're going to visit that place or not, if you're going to travel to that place or not. Okay? So that is basically the difference between going to and will when we're talking about plans, especially in this case, when we're talking about vacations. We check in this unit or in this level, in this lesson, vocabulary related to traveling, such as clothing, such as money, health, documents, and luggage. Okay? These are the categories. Here we have some of the words that we can use when we're talking about these categories. Okay, so that's important that you consider them and practice and put them in context. Okay, create sentences. Okay, so try to practice this vocabulary in advance. Now, another important structure that we have to consider for this level is checking the modals, for necessity and suggestion. Because when you're going to travel, you need to describe necessity. Yes? So you need to do something. Yeah? So in that case, you can use you need to, all right? You need to be 21 or over. You must have, you have to, you don't have to, or in some cases, we can also use must. You must. Okay? So depending on how necessary is the thing that you need to do, you can change the model, right? Must, have to are pretty the same. It's mandatory. For example, if you travel to the States, you have to take your visas. You have to you have to get a passport. You have to get a visa as well, right? And is that a completely necessity? Your driver's license to the States? Well, it's not necessary. It's not mandatory to get in the States. But if you want to drive there, well, it's necessary, right? So it's a suggestion, not a necessity. So in the case of a suggestion, when you want to give suggestions, you can use you'd better, you ought to, you should, you shouldn't. For example, I can tell you you shouldn't forget your driver's license because sometimes it's necessary to drive, sometimes will be necessary there. Okay. You should take your student ID because sometimes it's important, some discounts in some specific places. Eh, you'd better, you'd better take your medicines and your doctor's recipe in case you need to take your medicines. You don't have to go to the doctor there. You don't have to pay for that. Okay. And you don't have to buy medicines there. So you just take your own medicines and your own recipe just in case, right? Well, these are essentially, this is like a review, okay? Because you were using these models in previous levels to talk about necessity and suggestion. The thing is that now you're going to incorporate these models with future, going to, or will, in order to talk about plans and things that you need to do when you're going to travel. Okay? Well, remember that you have to prepare a short video related to your plans. Where are you going? What are you planning to do on vacation, your next vacations? What kind of things you need to take with you, what kind in your bag, in your luggage, what kind of documents are necessary, what kind of food, what kind of clothes, which place are recommended, what time you should leave. I mean, all the things that you can suggest uh, to someone who's going to travel. Okay. Well, the best of luck. I really appreciate your participation here, and see you next class.